we went through all the reports except for
Patrick is
yours.
still up to C,
Okay.
and I don't know if you have anything to report on,
I have one
the
question
new aquatic,
on
commissioner
C.
or not.
We have an aquatic management plan, do we know? Is that current?
I would think so, as long as our.
2017.
That's 2017.
We may have something yours too.
Yeah, I mean,
Our permit is current.
for sure.
Alright. Okay, can I get a copy of the permit? Let me get it.
Certainly, yeah.
Awesome, thanks. So nothing new on that issue. If I can jump back up to the chairman's report, I think we all know that the dredge issue is over. We were wandered over there the other day on our paddleboard, there's no pier in yet, that we can see no progress towards one. Also on the chairman's report, there was a request for rezoning of a property on West Ridge Road filed by Mr. Stas. That there was an initial hearing before the zoning commission on June 5th. That will be called back for another hearing, to give the applicants an opportunity to present additional information.
Do we know the date of that meeting?
10th.
I think it was supposed to be the third. Didn't want to do it before the 4th of July. That is all I have at the time, at this time for the chairman's reports. Are there any questions?
How about the introduction of new aquatic plant harvesting commissioner?
We have not identified a new black plant house commissioner.
It'll be on the next agenda,
All right.
we'll keep going until I get somebody to replace him.
With that, can I welcome, Tom? Sure. For the, LPGI report.
We kicked off our spring meeting the end of May at Alpine Valley, which was a new venue for us. It might be our first and last meeting that we hold there. Even though they gave us the space, without charging, with the setup costs, the food and everything, it was almost $1,000 by the time, the bill was all added up. And that's a little bit pricier than what we wanna spend for twice a year. So I'm working with them to see if we can get that significantly down. If not, we're looking at other venues right here in East Troy. We may go back to the fire department, but it's something that's being assessed right now. I did announce at that meeting that we're gonna be holding a special meeting on August 24th. And, it's gonna be on the environmental health of the lake. It's part of the cooperative initiative that we're working with Tim Ellinger on. I announced it as a meeting addressing specifically wake boats, and I got my hands slapped after the meeting. There will be a section that's specific to wake boats, but really that whole session is to talk about the overall health of the lake. And the way that it's being structured is there are 4 short, recordings that are being done prior to the meeting. So for example, one of them is the importance of the marrow at the bottom of Lake Beulah and why is it unique and why is it so important to preserve that. So there's a 20-minute discussion just on that. There will be another one that talks about wake boat learnings across the state of Wisconsin, both the negative and the positive. And then there's 2 other topics very specific to the health and the environmental aspects of the lake. And people are gonna be asked to look at those before they come to that session. And then, there will be just a real general overview combining all of those together at the kickoff, and it'll go directly into working sessions. And it'll be a 2-hour session that is meant to engage, whoever participates in it, on the topics at hand. So stay tuned for the venue on that. We're trying to figure out where we're gonna hold that. Also, the little video clip things will be sent out to everybody on our distribution list. And then as we did before, we'll wanna do a sign up for people to sign up ahead of time. That will go out as well. And then that will be another way to check to make sure that they got the email with the We are also introducing a new database, which is very cool, but is slowing down our renewals. Interesting enough, we made an appeal and thanked people for the extra contributions that they've made. Of the dues that we've taken in so far, 2 times that amount has been collected in extra donations that people have made that they put in with their dues, so people are being very generous, so that's awesome. But we just had an area chair appreciation event and talked through how we can do a better job of engaging the people who live on the lake. We still have less than half of the homeowners as members, and the goal is to drive that number up to get closer to 75%. I would like to make a formal request from your organization for the $1,000 to put towards the fish stocking. We will be doing our annual fish stocking again this September. Bass will be the fish that we're focusing on, I believe. I'm still working with the fish biologist who always makes that determination, and he hasn't confirmed back with me yet, but I think that that's what we will be doing. We did successfully complete the goose roundup. We took more than 100 geese off the lake.
You had some statistics at the annual meeting as far as the take rate for fish last year. You have those?
I don't have the take rate.
Survival rate.
Oh, yeah, it's not real good. That was, so when we release fish, we expect less than 10% of what we release to make it to a size of fish that is considered a good game fish that you would catch. But what is promising is what the data is showing that the ones that are making it are spawning and reproducing in the lake. There was some concerns about our walleye really spawning, and there were some spawners that were caught this spring on the lake, so they had spawn in them, so they're putting it somewhere. We just need to figure, and there is an effort to try to improve some of the habitat on the lake to encourage walleyes to do that. But I was very impressed with the pictures that I saw of these fish. I mean, they were 28-inch long walleyes, which is a really good sized walleye anywhere. So, does that answer your question?
Yeah. What we're concerned about in that is the efficiency of the whole program and how effective is it. We hear the superlatives, we stock fish, isn't that great? But then we don't get the report what happened after a period of time and how effective is it. So we'd like to see those data.
If I can show you lots of pictures of bass that they're catching, and those bass, those sporting bass would not be being caught in those numbers if we weren't doing the stocking program.
What bass are you talking about? Largemouth or smallmouth?
Small.
Okay, the smallmouth are doing well. But, just as an example, walleye eat bass. So I think that we do have
Northerns eat everything.
they do. We do have a healthy walleye population.
Is that why they taste so good?
Yeah, but I don't know how aggressive we need to get with stocking more of them that kind of counteracts.
You're right, it's a very complex thing,
Right.
It's not simple. But you'd like to get some idea how effective is it, truly, more so than superlatives. It's not easy to come by, but that's like you see.
Yeah, and you've asked when and the DNR is so strapped that the number of programs that they're doing to answer those kind of questions are very limited. So they can give you a general, what they're learning across the entire state. It's not specific to Lake Beulah. However, Lake Beulah does get a lot of attention, especially for the walleye assessment. Because
So
we're still on an every other year where the state is putting walleye into the lake and they're paying for it. It's a cost that taxpayers are basically paying for it.
Lake Beulah is a largemouth bass lake, isn't it?
It is, and it always historically has been, but we did introduce smallmouth, and they
Yeah.
are doing well. I see.
We do have, our fall meeting is, going to be on September 21st. We always do a board meeting prior to that, so that's scheduled for September 7th. We usually do the fish release right around that same time, towards the end of September, maybe into the first week of October.
How many geese do you guys take?
103.
What was the last number? The last, is it?
It was more like 160 or maybe so much
They
higher.
were over in my area. You know, by
I
the
saw it all
beach area.
over, like,
They were, I called it hurting them, and that's exactly what they were doing, there were like 10 boats out there, and they even had like, you know, the oars for paddle boats, and they used those to chase them off of the ground to get them out into the lake, and then they were pushing them towards the launch area. And that, I can tell you one thing, I'll just share some information with you. Some of my neighbors got very upset with that, and they said, what's doing, and they went out to try to talk to the people that were driving the boat. They refused to talk, well, anyway, so they called the police chief here. He knew nothing about it. He had no idea that they were, and they were federal employees that were out, you know, doing it. And so the police chief actually, I was told, came out to the launch to see what was going on and didn't get that much cooperation, you know, from them, so. It is upsetting some people. It's kind of like the wakeboarding issue. You know?
Yeah, I get a lot more smiles.
It's,
What a difference in the year is made by us. What a difference.
yeah,
If I took 50 tomorrow, so I should.
yeah. Well,
You didn't like
the
it.
one concern is, it's still the understanding that Canada geese are still federally, they're considered a protected, species. Like, you can't get in your boat and go chase them, you know, or you're not supposed to chase them off of your property. That's harassing the geese. So how do they get permission to,
Well, there's an issue in big community areas like this is, over years, what happened is the geese became more domesticated. They're not leaving over the winter, they're not doing the
They're not
natural
migrating, yeah.
migration patterns. And the hope is, by taking these local geese off that aren't typically leaving, we're gonna get more of a natural pattern. Like, I don't think we're planning on doing this again for a couple of years.
well, see, and they do it when the little goslings can't fly yet. And I'll tell you, the mom and dad, they're really good parents, cause they stick with them. They just, you know, and it's like if you see them floating by, it's generally the female that's leading them, and then the male hangs back, and he's supposed to, you know, like protect them in that, so anyway.
That is also a time that they're molting, so some of the
Yeah.
adults, they're not able to fly back.
Yeah, so anyway, but, you know.
I used to raise Canadian geese, I
Ah.
raised them for 20 years, so I know them very well.
Okay. Second point, different little
Yeah.
subject. You might, getting back to your meetings for the OBPIA, you might wanna check out Troy Center. You know, they have a huge meeting room in there.
Yeah.
I know several years ago, we used their meeting, cause they wanted all of the residents to, you know, to go there, so you might wanna communicate with them, and it's not that far away either, you know, it's no farther than, you know, Alpine Valley. But, work out a deal where maybe, you know, you can use their room, so.
What's your attendance now?
We had 120 people at the spring meeting.
Aren't you using it?
We checked it that one time, and with the fact that we hold them on Saturday mornings, there was some conflict with something that's done at the yacht club during that time. So they basically said no, that was the past. Okay.
It's probably just a schedule.
But it costs you a refreshment, it's like $8 a person, wow,
Yeah, I know, it was crazy.
that's too steep.
So thank you guys for, I don't know, do we need to make a official motion
We should.
regarding the fish?
We normally do.
Is there a motion to
have nothing new to report on double Ds. It is looking increasingly, in rough shape. Anybody else?
It's a wheelchair now.
Yeah, done, yeah.
Still done?
Yeah, so
There's some on Geneva, or Lake Geneva.
I guess I'll check this out tomorrow.
And I also have no new information on W 1347 Beach Road. With respect to new business, I had a brief discussion of the Stotts property at Stringers Bridge for the rezoning request. So I don't have anything further. We'll turn it over to.
Oh. Proposed budget. The commissioners sent me an email on what you think your budget should be for next year.
It's asking a lot, isn't it?
Well, it's, I mean,
Yeah.
I can also create the budget.
Yeah, you
I'd
do.
like some suggestions,
Okay.
more of a group budget. And then we'll discuss the details. The total? I'd like to cut our tax.
Patrick, so you know, he, at our July meeting, he presents the proposed budget for next year. We have to vote on it, and approve it so that it can be then presented at the annual meeting, which will be in August.
Sounds good. Do you have a suggestion for our next auditor? We can
Uh,
do that until the next.
I'll have it at the next meeting, the security auditor.
Aha.
What was
Basically,
the,
put that as a reminder.
Chris, what was the reduction on the tax bill for area owners?
Last year, it was like 5%.
5%.
I'm thinking we could reduce our attorney bills. Our budget bills. Deal with it. And that should be able to give us a reduction.
That was your 2 points.
Oh. Yes,
Do you have anything additional?
I do not. What's
The wakeboarding issue. I think the Protective Association is scheduling a public-ish presentation on the health of Lake Beulah and the users. A more inclusive representation of the users of the lake and how the lake should be used. I think it would behoove this commission to show up and make time on August 24th, if I wrote the date down properly.
Yep.
Spend the 20 minutes in advance of those meetings to watch the videos or whatever time it takes. I have a bit of a reading list on the wakeboard boat issue. I'm more than willing to share those articles that I have not shared, but I do think we should go into that meeting informed and in a listening posture so that we can figure out what the constituents want for the lake and to the extent that there is measurable evidence about what we should be doing to best care for the lake, which is our charge, that we have a meeting shortly thereafter or an appropriate time thereafter to act on the information.
So at this meeting, we would be listening, right, not
Listening.
speaking, because it'd be more.
It'd be participating.
Well, you guys can participate individually, Val just need to post, like you've seen with the town sometimes, that there could be a quorum of the Lake Beulah Management District at this meeting, but this doesn't constitute a meeting, and no business will be decided. So you, all commissioners as, you know, private citizens are free to attend. We can't have any Lake Management District unless it's properly noticed.
So we probably should
Yeah, Val just posted like she does normal.
Like on our
Yeah,
website,
just same, and just same thing in the
and then
newspaper.
posted it at the
Yeah,
other
just like you would a
places,
normal meeting, yeah.
the town, like the town lobby bulletin board. Okay.
And it just says pretty standard language, I can share an
Yeah.
example that there could be a quorum possible, but no business will be discussed. Or acted on, actually.
Can I offer that for discussion for the rest of the commission? Does that sound like an appropriate plan? Seems reasonable, not.
Come down to time, what time it is.
It's in the morning, 9 to 11, just like all our other meetings, 9 to 11.
Look, it's an issue we don't wanna avoid, I don't think we should avoid, but it's an introduction to it, so it's a good start to move in that direction. We have to address it one way or another.
Yeah, I've been in contact with Big Cedar Lake, their lake association, this is a really big topic for them, and they've been at it a lot longer, so, one of the video clips might be them telling their story and where they're at in the whole process.
Is that the video clip that was on the Journal Sentinel last summer?
I don't know, it wouldn't be the same, it would be just created new,
They just did it.
it would be an extension of that.
Okay, any further discussion on that issue?
See, Bridger, Big Cedar Lake.
Pardon?
See, Bridger, Big Cedar Lake, I mean,
Very similar.
It's there,
Yeah.
it's a different shape, though, it's bigger.
yeah.
Yeah, there's no narrow in the middle. All right, communications,
Nothing,
nothing further.
nothing.
Then I can open up the floor for public comments. This is an opportunity for people to share their opinions with board members on any topic they choose. Please also not know the meeting laws, or is not able to answer questions or respond to your comments. Please keep your comments limited to 3 minutes per speaker, and please state your name and address. Are there any comments for today's meeting?
I have one short one. You need my name? John,
Let the record show that it's Mr. Stas.
Address,
Stringers Bridge Road, North 8831 Stringers Bridge Road. Rumor on the street is Double D's is being sold, but I'm not gonna say who it is until it actually happens. So you guys can stew on that. Thank you, I'm done.
Who's the rumored person?
I don't kiss and tell until it's on ink and it's done. But I'm just telling you, it's sold.
John Stas.
No, I got plenty.
Shot in the dark. Okay.
You might wanna re-up those, legal fees and get the budget back up.
Sure the
You guys can't Q&A it.
Thank you. We need to determine a meeting date, for next month.
The Tuesday dates are July 2nd, which is, just before the holidays, so I don't know. Anyway, July 9th, 16th, 23rd, and the 30th. One of the things that we may have to take into consideration for, determining the July date is if we would go ahead and determine, like last year, our annual meeting was held the end of August. If we did that again this year, it would be August 27th. And the reason I point that out is that all of our notices have to be in the paper, or we have to publicize it 3 weeks ahead of the annual meeting, so we have to kind of work.
So July 30th would be fine.
Yeah, we would be cutting it kind of, short, but
We got a week to
we
start.
could do that. So would you, because of the budget, would you prefer to have it on the 30th?
23rd
No,
or the month?
I can't do 23rd.
Oh, were you?
Work,
It's a-
unless you wanna have it without me, I'm fine.
We might, the 30th,
That's a Tuesday, it's a 30th.
Why wouldn't you pick the third?
Works for me.
Oh, okay.
We did.
Yeah, but it's fun.
Sounds like July 30th, 5:30.
Okay.
This is-
I'll just put it in at 2 o'clock, so we can,
And did you wanna wait until then to designate the annual meeting date, or do you wanna go ahead and figure that out now?
maybe we should figure it out now. shouldn't we?
I'm proposing August 27th. Because if you back up from August 27th, if 3 weeks for, having it publicized would be August 6th, which is like the week right after the July meeting.
Yeah, if you're doing July 30th, you gotta do it.
Yeah.
Later date.
So should we go with August 27th?
Geez, maybe the
Well-
Labor Day weekend, which one?
Yeah.
Would that be before Labor Day weekend?
Labor Day is on the second
Of September,
of September.
so it'd be before Labor Day weekend.
What time? That's usually later, right?
7, because we have to allow for people to get home from work. So the annual meeting would be at 7 PM.
Tuesday, August 27th?
Yeah.
7 PM.
And it moves.
I will double check. I will make sure, so.
Okay.
Sounds good. I will now entertain a motion to go into a closed session. For item J sub A, the agenda.
May I make a motion to go into closed session?
For a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye.